Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we are going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins, Roboto, Heroic Mechanical Warrior. This, however, is the second version of Roboto we have already received in this line, and looking at him, you might notice the differences right away. He now has orange limbs, and also there's a heart here on the chest. But this orange version of Roboto is inspired by his look in the vintage mini comics. So it's a version of Roboto that fans have actually been asking for many years now. Finally, I know we get a lot of repaints in this line, but I am glad to see them giving us repaints that are specifically being asked for. So Roboto does come on that Rise of the Snake Men card back we've been seeing as of late. It does say, twist waist unleashes robot power. Of course, alluding to the gears that turn within his body. I imagine a lot of this is going to be just like the first version of Roboto that we already got in this line, but we'll definitely be doing some comparisons. As we rotate this around to the back side, we do have some gorgeous artwork up there on the top. Look at that! Too bad. Oh my gosh, I hope that guy is coming in Origins soon. And hey, look in the background, the Bashosaurus. Awesome. Always love to see the different things from MOTU lore that get included in this amazing artwork. Down below that, we've got a cross-sell with the other four figures, or the other three figures in this four-figure wave. And then we've also got the action feature call-out showing all of the cool little features that this particular figure has. So let's go ahead and get this new version of Roboto opened up, and we'll get a closer look at him. Alright, so the new Roboto figure does come packaged with the new Assassin's Aim mini comic, which is a story featuring Roboto, Tongue Lasher, Hypno, and Snake Armor Skeletor, all the figures from this current wave. So let's go ahead and take a look at this new version of Roboto. We'll start with the measurements, showing that he does stand at the 6-inch mark, right around where most of the figures in this line stand. Technically on that 5.5 scale, you know, bend the knees and everything, should fit in pretty much with your vintage style Roboto. So if you're wondering why we got another Roboto just in different colors, let me explain how this figure is inspired by his appearance in this vintage mini comic called The Battle of Roboto. And within this comic, these are the colors that we saw Roboto with. So a lot of people have actually been asking for this version of Roboto for a very long time. You might also be asking, what's up with the heart on his chest there? Well, you could see that Man-at-Arms gave Roboto a heart in this mini-comic. Now, within the mini-comic, he actually put the heart inside of Roboto. However, for the rest of the book, the heart is showing pretty clearly, almost as if it is printed on his chest there. Also worth noting, within this comic, he does battle with Skeletor and Too Bad while the Bashosaurus comes in to save the day. It's totally recreated in that artwork that I showed you on the back of the packaging. Absolutely brilliant. I love stuff like that. So yeah, this new version of Roboto is different from what we already got in this line because now we've got orange arms, orange legs, yellow trunks, and this heart printed on here. If we go ahead and do a comparison time to the already released Roboto in this line, you can see that otherwise they are exactly the same figure. So it's just a redeco for this new version here. Some of the other areas where this one is different are the gears on the inside are now all gray instead of having the different red and blue colors there. The heart is really interesting. So on the vintage toy, there actually was a heart inside his chest behind the gear. And the Origins version of Roboto was lacking that, and a lot of people were disappointed. This time around, we just have the heart printed on the front, again, to mimic the way it looked in the comics. However, I will say, this almost just looks like a sticker. Like a Valentine's Day sticker was stuck to the toy. It's not a sticker. This is printed on there, so it shouldn't peel off or anything like that. However, I do wish it was more translucent or something, because as it is, I don't know, it just looks like a sticker on there. And honestly, at the end of the day, I kind of wish we would have had the heart inside the chest like on the vintage toy. But, you know, it's just kind of, we got what we got here. Again, they are trying to mimic the look of the vintage mini comic. I just think it could have looked a little bit better than this. But as it is, we've basically got the exact same figure. Now, this does mean the same action feature is in place. Much like on the vintage toy and on the first release in Origins, when you turn the waist, it turns the gears inside and also opens and closes the visor, the mouth, I don't know, whatever you want to call that up there. So it works just like that. And it works really, really good. You can see the gears kind of turning in there. Now, of course, this does limit some of the interchangeability. The head is not removable on this one. Also, the body is not removable from the torso. You can still pull the arms out of socket, which is really interesting. Although I do remember some people having problems with this part kind of falling inwards on the first release of Roboto. Not saying that it will, but it is something to be cautious of, probably. But this does mean that you can't really interchange the bodies with the other Roboto. Like, you could switch the arms, but this body is always going to be stuck to the orange legs. So you can't swap the bodies, unfortunately, between the two Roboto figures. Now, otherwise, articulation is all exactly the same on this guy. You know exactly what you're getting here. It all feels really good and really sturdy. And for his accessories, he comes with the interchangeable arm attachments. So we've got the battle axe that you can pop out of socket, and in its place, you can plug in the gun, or we can pop that out, and in its place, you can plug in the claw. So it's the same 3 attachments that we saw on the vintage Roboto action figure. So pretty cool stuff. I guess it is worth noting you can turn the head left and right, but it's obviously not on a ball joint there. But it is worth noting you can still turn that, and then of course with the interchangeable hands, you should be able to get some pretty cool variances in displays with this particular figure. And there you go, my friends. That is a look at the mini comics version of Roboto. Not a ton else to say about him. I do really like it. The only real complaint I have is that I wish the heart looked a little bit nicer than it does. But otherwise, I do think it's cool that we're getting this version of the character. It's also pretty neat seeing like all of the mini comic recolors or inspiration figures we've got in the Origins line so far. We're really building out like all these different references to different media from Masters. And I always appreciate that. I think that stuff is very, very cool. So this new wave of figures is just now starting to show up at places like Amazon. Hasn't really shown up for pre-order anywhere else just yet, but I imagine that it must be coming very soon to other online stores as well as retail. So happy hunting, my friends, and until next time.